to all those that have joined online and of course those that are here present with us today. Our students are certainly our distinguished guests, so I greet each of you today and say congratulations on reaching this momentous occasion. To those that have joined online, hello and welcome. You will be seeing exactly the same as the people sitting here, so it will be as if you filled in the seats behind, so please do enjoy sharing it with us today. So I always say at Vinci we don't really have rules, so I call them just house comments. So in the front here you will see that there's a camera. That is your professional photographs that are being taken today. So when you come up, you will come to me, your name will be called, and then you will walk over here. You will have a Senate representative on one side, a council representative on the other, and you will have an industry representative in some cases that will also stand alongside you. You will then take your photo here. You will then proceed to Louise Fuller, who will then cap you for those students that are graduating with their qualifications. For those students that are doing modules in the banker program, you will then take your photograph here and then you will proceed to back to your seats. The other part is just to please make sure your cell phones are on silent. Today is being live streamed to YouTube, and what we do is at the end, we take it down just if there were any pauses or anything in terms of the signal or something, and we re-put it up 24 hours later or a few hours later depending, and then it's always on YouTube for you, so you will always be able to go back to the video, but you are welcome to use your cell phones, etc. Then the other thing is we do small groups so that you can celebrate yourselves. So to the family that are here, feel free to shout, scream, ululate, you can blow kisses, you can tell them to stand and look for a photo. If you rush off, I'm going to tell you not to rush. And yesterday, I'm challenging you, we had guys doing traditional dancing and celebrating themselves. So let's see how lively you guys can get. I see that face like, really? So please feel free to just celebrate in the way you want to, because each of you is unique and we want you to celebrate how you want to celebrate today. My name is Dr. Marla Coonan. I forgot to introduce myself. So I'm the Executive Dean, Strategy and Stakeholder Management here at the Da Vinci Institute. But today it is indeed my honor and my privilege to be your program director. Please rise for the academic procession. Be seated. So as much as I said you are the distinguished guests, which you absolutely are, we also have some other guests joining us in the robes who in some ways are distinguished as well. So I'm going to introduce them to you. To my left is Professor Paul Singh. He is the representative for Senate today. Senate is the highest academic decision-making body of our institution. And we cannot have a graduation without having a Senate representative formally opening these proceedings as a legal gathering of the Institute. So Prof. Singh will soon open the graduation. Next to Prof. Singh is Ms. Marizanne Berger, who's a council representative. Our council is here as a strategic, industry-focused committee, and we get strategic guidance from various experts within the industry to continue to make sure the institution continues to align with best practice in industry. And we have multiple representatives, and today Ms. Marizanne Berger is our representative from Council. To the left of her is Ms. Louise Fuller, who is our registrar, and she's the one that will be capping each of you today, those that are being capped. So to your left-hand side, who will soon be our guest speaker, is Professor Harbia Klopper, who's the CEO of the Da Vinci Institute, and he will also be your guest speaker today to deliver the keynote address. So on behalf of everybody here, I want to once again congratulate you and welcome you and your families to this momentous occasion. I now call on Professor Paul Singh to formally open this graduation. Prof. Singh.
By the power vested in me by the Da Vinci Institute Senate, I hereby constitute this congregation as a lawful gathering of the Da Vinci Institute.
Thank you, Prof. Singh. Now that we've got the official things underway, I'm going to introduce you to your keynote speaker. So the thing about Prof. Klopper as the CEO of the Da Vinci Institute, he has a lifelong passion with regards to making sure that education is situated in relevant context. It is important, especially for a business school, that when students embark on qualifications or they embark on things for non-qualification purposes, that we are able to blend and ensure that industry examples and situated context, which means your specific context to your specific working environment, are incorporated into all of our programs. For that reason, he has a passion for bringing in technology and innovation into education. It is an area of interest for him that he really feels very passionate and strongly about. Prof. Klopper, prior to being the CEO of the Da Vinci Institute, held many senior management positions at various public and private institutions. He's presented conference papers both here and abroad, and he's often called upon as a guest speaker. He is also a supervisor of master's and doctoral students, both here at Da Vinci as well as at other institutions where he supervises postgraduate students. Over and above that, he is somebody who has an absolute passion for publication, and he has been the author of multiple chapters in textbooks, as well as the editor for those, and also journal articles. So he is a seasoned academic, but the absolute difference with Prof. Klopper is that he's also consulted to business for many years. So he's got that synergy between really understanding what we're trying to do here, which is to embed qualifications and embed modules in situated learning. He's also, for those of you that listen to radio, he's often called on as a guest on radio stations, our celebrity, and he's often called in as an expert in terms of current trends happening in the country, as well as things related to economics, and so you can catch him on radio quite often as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Professor Harbia Klopper.
Program Director, Dr. Koonen, thank you very much for that kind words of introduction. To the Chairman of the Institute, Prof. Anderson, to the Representative Senate, Representative Council, the Registrar, the Executive Management, the faculty, all officials, and most important to this distinguished guest this morning, the students, your family and friends that join us here in person, also online. Good morning to everybody. Good morning. You can relax. This is a joyous momentum. Thank you to the Institute for the invitation to deliver the keynote address this morning. I appreciate the opportunity to share some thoughts with you, our graduates, in celebrating this special day and also in the galaxy, in becoming part of the history of the Institute, because it's a success and we must never let it slip by. I would then specifically like to extend my congratulations to you and say well done for being Grand Johannes here today in celebrating, and this time you can relax and applaud each other. It's been a long journey. Your academic achievements and hard work didn't go unnoticed, and I think it's testament to the fact that you stand here today. If I look at and reflect on your journey, I also think it's fitting purpose then to acknowledge the role that your family members and friends play, undoubtedly, behind the scenes in the dark hours of the night, in the long weekends, in supporting you to become what you are and for being here today. For that, I also thank them. As responsible citizens, I believe we must all get involved in business and politics of your country, our country. Many of us are from other parts in the continent. Because you will need to make important choices about what to do with your life, what to do next. And you know, normally after one graduates, there's career moves, there's some promotions, but there's also time to reflect on where you're going. And I would urge you in doing so not to follow the old 20th century approach to try and make as much money in business as possible. It might sound strange. Rather, follow a more novel approach in the 21st century, which we all subscribe to, and say, let's rather be there and with compassion for others. Going out in the social environment, money will be one of the things that will come later. So rather have a broader, inclusive approach as you go out there. So today I want to talk to you about 3 habits specifically. But before I go there, in a true Da Vinci style, if you can indulge me for the moment, I want to invite you and pass the ball to your court and say, what do you think I have here? What is this gift? A ring. I'm probing. Anything else? What do you think is in here? What's this? A box. I almost sound like Oprah Winfrey, so don't look under your seat at the moment. In here, there's something of value. Earrings. A ring. Earrings. A diamond. Yeah, now we're co-creating. I like the corporate spirit. Something small. A keyring. Okay. Can be. This is a gift I want to present to you. But I've got some bad news and good news. I can't give it to you. That's the bad news. The good news is you already have it. If I look at this and I say, for the moment, assume this is your head. Imagine. Stretch your mind. You've already asked me a lot of questions. You've been reading the situation, listening to others. If I stretch your mind and say, if this is your head, I look into that, I pull out a rubber band, which is like your brain. And during the course of your studies, you've been stretching this. And that's why you're sitting here today. You've read a lot. You've been exercising yourself. And you ask many questions from colleagues. So there's amazing potential. So in this small box of value, in your head, there's a brain that you must not underestimate how far you can really stretch that band. So let me remind you then about the 3 habits. The first one is to stretch your mind. And you already did that. And sometimes we forget that. Now, in stretching your mind, I think it's important to acknowledge that mind stretching is a process where we teach our brain a new way of thinking. And reflect back on what happened in the past year as you studied to this qualification. In doing so, you connect the right brain with the left brain. And in that process, your brain becomes more effectively. And we understand that the left brain is more verbal and the right brain is more creative. And together, we used our whole brain and we stretch ourselves. Now, a wise man once said, Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., that once you stretch the brain once with a new idea, it will never return back to its original dimensions. So by stretching it, you're also ensuring that your brain keeps on growing. And they tell me a brain is not a muscle, a brain is an organ. But you've been stretching yourself. Have you stretched yourself this past year? Did you enjoy that? Yes. Are you more flexible at the moment? Yes, for sure. So if you look at this thing about stretching your mind, there's a book by Leonard Milnett. And I urge you to go and read that book. And it's all about elastic, flexible thinking in changing the world. Now, if you look at that book, he very clearly explained to us the different tools that you can use to stretch your mind and using your brain more effectively. So as you graduate here today and you walk away, I want to urge you not to stop stretching your mind. You can always come back to Da Vinci. We've got many more programs for that, many more colleagues to interact, but keep on stretching your mind. And in doing that, I hope that you appreciate that elastic thinking is what we need to talk about. And we talk about elastic thinking and analytical thinking. Now, if I look at this book of Leonard, which I really enjoyed, it's about a 55-page, not a long book. Elastic thinking is a bottom-up process that rely on creative thinking, using your imagination, idea generation. And what we taught you during your studies, it's inductive thinking. Whereas you have analytical abilities, that's a top-down approach, which are more, in many ways, looking at the logic and the sequence. So it's deductive thinking, and we argue that you need to use both in an abductive way. So use your elastic and analytical abilities when you stretch your mind. And in this book of his, he talks about Uber and Google a lot. And he's saying there are good examples of businesses where people use the full brain capacity, both elastic and analytical thinking, to do that. So the examples is there. You must just go and use that. If you look at our own close at the Vinci Business School, Leonardo da Vinci himself, and I look at you, some of you, the people that have created Pokemon, they're all examples of people with the ability to use the whole brain activity to come up with a novel idea to change the world, to go and make an impact, to think differently, to not align to what others are doing. And in doing that, yes, you will make mistakes. There will be failures, but don't be afraid if you try and connect the unconnected. Because we all agree, and we've said to each other, failure is not a feat, it is learning how. So in stretching your mind, if you don't stretch yourself, there's no sacrifice, there will be no gain. Research confirmed, if I look at this stretching your mind, that the moment you start thinking about an idea from where you currently are, the moment you think that and say that, your brain will automatically pull you in that direction because you can only resist as far. So hence you need to imagine. Don't be shy. If you can't imagine that, if you can't think about it, if you can't say that, your brain will never take you there. So that's part of the stretching. In stretching then, to conclude, it's important, and I think we all acknowledge the value of physical exercise. The brain is not a muscle. We can't do physical exercise, so we need mental flexibility to exercise that. We need our elastic analytical thinking to do that. So I hope that you remind yourself of the first habit that you practiced a lot in this past year. The second habit I already shared with you. You listen to the people around you, you read the situation. So read, 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 and read. Important. Charles Schreiber IV, a wise man many, many years ago, and I cannot give you a date, and I do try and make this academically sound. He said, reading is a means of thinking with another person's mind to stretch your own. So don't stop reading. It's a very powerful thing, and reading includes talking to others. Research has confirmed that stimulation of the mind is a very complex process where it triggers your circuits and signals in the brain. It stimulates your memories, and obviously it will also then stimulate your imagination. And today we will talk about imagination a little bit later, so please keep on imagining. And by reading that, you can make up the story in your mind and you stretch yourself. There are a lot of benefits of reading, and I don't think you can argue. You increase your vocabulary, you become more knowledgeable, you develop your theory of mind, you've definitely improved your writing skills. And as you sit here today, another benefit is to graduate. So never stop to read, and read wide. And don't just read from one school of thought. If you have different views, that's normally where you can build the lateral bridges, and that's for us is important. Think outside the box. It's not about what's in the box. It's not about the box, it's what's outside the box. And you can do that very successfully by stretching your mind. So the more you read, the more you know, and the more you know, the better you will understand things. So reading is a powerful tool, and it's for free. You have the gift. You don't need to look under the chair to get the box. You have the brain. Just exercise that, the mental flexibility. So I often speak about long life learning. And I believe that long life learning, you've come to realize, and I hope you've realized during the course of the study, it's a deliberate act where you force yourself to engage in learning, and that you must do till the end of days. You will never stop to learn. If you talk to somebody, if you read a paper, if you listen to the radio, it's all learning activities. And at Da Vinci, we'll quite often speak about andragogical and heterogogical perspectives or ways of teaching. Now, in simple words, andragogical is self-determined. And you did that. You decided, I want to come and study at Da Vinci. I want to come and stretch my mind. I want to enroll for that program, or I want to choose that elective. It's a self-determined journey. Nobody told you to do that. Yes, maybe you were advised or supported by somebody at work or family member, but you made that choice. You didn't come to Da Vinci for us to do PowerPoints and to talk to you the whole time. You came here to co-create. So it was a self-directed journey. We also speak about the autogogical perspective, which is self-determined. And that you've already did. So we gave you a context and a purpose and a module, but you had to go out and decide what you want to read. So you decided who you want to talk to, what articles, what additional books. So you already stretch your mind in that sense. It's not like we say, yes, of course, here's one article, here's one book, this is what you need to do. We open our library to you and say, there it is, use that. So, heterogogical, real underpinning foundations of adult learning. So that we already did. And I think if you can walk away here and you can agree with me that knowledge is power to stretch your mind, you're ready. And you already have the second habit. Yes, I know we don't always have time to read enough. I was saying to Paul this morning, I try and read at least one text or book, not a textbook and a book in a month. But about 2 years ago, I've also started to listen to audiobooks if I come to work in the morning and the afternoon. Because it's time that you can read or listen to somebody. Any guess what the third habit would be? Spoke about it early on. You asked questions. So ask questions. Extremely valuable to ask the right questions. If you ask a novel question, you will discover new ways of finding solutions to the answers that you don't have. So through probing, which we did a lot, and you understand that you've learned to ask many questions, and by answering many questions, you stretch other people's minds. You definitely stretch our minds, you stretch your colleagues' minds, and as they ask questions, they also stretch your mind. And through that process of probing, you discovered and you were forming the ability to formulate new ways of answering difficult questions. A week ago, last week, Friday, after I've met with a specific colleague of mine, a friend, and he shared the story with me about a mentor that used to be an old colleague of his that he got a lot of respect with. And he had this very challenging situation at work. It consists of 5 different companies, and he had to engage with his CEOs. And then he linked up with his mentor for coffee to check with him on advice on how to handle this difficult matter. Now, and this mentor, by the way, is also one of our recent Curiosita speakers that we have. And when he sat them down, he explained the situation to the mentor and the challenges he has and all the questions in his mind. And instead of getting answers to the questions, that mentor asked him even more questions. And as he asked the questions and he responded to that himself, suddenly it started to crystallize and he realized he now knows how to deal with that difficult challenge at work. So when you ask questions, we don't not necessarily trying to find the answers. Through asking the right questions, you formulate new ways and a lot of new opportunities and realities how you can deal with the opportunities, and it's much more than answers. So to summarize, stretch your mind. You become very powerful. You will reach more people, you will make an impact, and you will change the world by stretching your mind at your own time. If you read a lot and you use your elastic and analytical abilities combined, the whole brain activities, you will have the ability to deal with change in the world. Of course, you will join the verbal and the creative, and the analytical, the bottom-up and top-down process we spoke about. And the more you ask questions, which is a very powerful tool, the easier it becomes to find the right solution. So by probing the problems, you will find the questions. It's not so much about the answers, it's about asking the right questions. So as I look to you as leaders today, I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that you're already leading in many ways. And you can use these 3 habits and hopefully have many, many more. But it's also important to acknowledge these habits are not special. It's not just for you that can have that. Everybody out there can have the ability to stretch their mind, to read and ask questions. I think what we are saying to you and the advice is, the more you use that, the better you will become at being a leader. So there's a little bit of competitiveness in here. So with that, thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to share some thoughts with you this morning. And in a true Da Vinci style, I want to greet you and say, be remarkable. Let us continue to influence the co-creation of humane, sustainable societies. Thank you, Program Director. I must not use my brain.
So, Prof. Klopper, should I maybe say, you win, you win, you win. And what do you win? Well, you win an expanded mind. And I really do think that we should consider that many things can be taken away from us in life, the ring, the earrings, but the knowledge that we gain through our own hard work and determination can actually never be taken away from us. So, Prof. Klopper, although I was a bit disappointed it wasn't a diamond something for me, I want to say that I don't think people understand the power that is within you when you have educated yourself. And you have educated yourself because you've had guides along the way, but you made that decision to educate yourself. And everyone knows, as a working adult with other commitments, it is not an easy decision. It is not an easy mountain to climb. The other thing is the elasticity of thought. One of the things I hope you've gained from Da Vinci, Prof. Klopper kept saying, I'm probing you. The reason at Da Vinci that we don't speak about problem solving and we speak about problem probing is because problem solving goes towards what's in management called JIT, just in time. And those just-in-time solutions are often rushed. They don't take the entire complexity of something and they to make decisions. Now, as you know at Da Vinci, we understand that there are times where you have to be coordinated and just make a decision because it's crisis and it's got to be done. But we hope that as leaders, you will try to be as cooperative as possible, which means that you will consider the complexity of a situation through the various lenses that are offered to you in this world. So to look at individuals, to look at cross-cultural engagement, to look at ways that you can empower people in assisting you to get the solution to the problem. So for us, it is really important that you probe problems rather than just rush just-in-time solutions as a leader. The other thing is, Prof. Klopper spoke about creativity, and one of the things we value at Da Vinci is curiosity. And the reason for that is because we want you to be able to harness that joy of childhood that makes us curious and finds it fascinating to sit in sand for hours on end and create and play. And that's why I often think in management circles, when you speak about things, they say a sand pit. I always wondered where the derivative of that came from because I first heard about it in the creative schools. But I see more and more organizations speaking about it and using it. And the idea is really about exploration and discovery. And what is the purpose of a university or a higher education institution? It is to discover knowledge, to create knowledge, to inquire about things, to ask questions. And so I hope in Prof. Klopper's message, you have found that your own mind has been stretched because you have discovered knowledge, you've probed, you've inquired, and you've been curious about all of these things. And be proud and stand tall because you have made us incredibly proud. Thanks, Prof. Klopper. So now's the part I know you've all been waiting for, which is to call you up for graduation. So I am going to request that Prof. Singh allows me the opportunity to be able to graduate you. So I have to formally ask for permission. Member of Senate, I formally request to you to confer the qualification higher certificate in the management of technology and innovation on the candidates I present to you today. Thank you. I've now been granted permission. I would please like to ask Ms. Charity Diali to please come up to join us on stage to congratulate the students on behalf of SAF. Wonderful to see you. You know the drill. So Charity's going to stand on the side by Marizan when you come up to take the photos with you, or the side of Prof. Klopper, depends which side she wants to stand on. And we are going to call up the first group of students. So the following students that I present to you completed electives in Business Improvement Specialist. Tyler? We're just fixing your tassel. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Tylen Naidu. Congratulations. Tylen, I hope as you stand here today, you feel the pride that you should feel. And I notice that you are wearing a very nice pair of tackies that looks Louise is talking. I noticed that you're wearing a very nice pair of tackies that doesn't look very scratched or worn. And the reason I say that is because today you can wear those tackies, but I have no doubt, don't run away, but I have no doubt that there were many times in your journey you did not feel like those tackies were so unscuffed and you felt the pain of walking this mile. Congratulations to you and the Naidu family on your achievement. Well done. So you see, I told you if you're shy, I'm going to still make you stand. So it's your moment in the sun, so you need to come up. So I would like to say that I need to make special mention because Tylen is part of our SAF group. And the thing about this, and that is why Charity is here, is because we're most appreciative to SAF of the work that they continue to do. And especially to you, Charity, the amount of contributions you make to the sector that you represent, but also the fact that you put such an emphasis on education and ensuring the upskilling of people within that, and you do this tirelessly. So we thank you for your contribution to your industry and to education in our country. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Charity, thank you. So I would now like to call up Mr. Temba Maseko. Temba is representing SAPA today, which is the South African Express Parcel Association. And yes, I see excitement there. Temba, I would also like to thank you. SAPA has been a long-time partner of the Vinci Institute, but the fact that you guys really do find a way to ensure that you upskill the situated context of the industry, but also educate people within that space and find sponsorship opportunities for students that are already professionals. For your contribution to this country and making education a powerful weapon, we really thank you today. So, Lionel, are you coming forward? Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Lionel Govender. Congratulations. Lionel, can you just turn this way? Face the camera. Are we good? Lionel, I would like to say to you and to the Govender family, congratulations on reaching this milestone. I hope the view that you have today is a beautiful one because you have trekked up that mountain, and sometimes I know you trekked in a cable car, but other times I'm sure it was on your hands and knees, but you got here, so congratulations. Julia, before you come up, I just want to, Troy is joining us online. So I want to mention that Troy Derek Hiscock has joined us online. And so we want to say congratulations because he's actually on honeymoon. And so he was unable to be here. So we congratulate him on his marriage as well as on reaching another milestone. And Troy also received his qualification cum laude. Congratulations. Julia? Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Julia Puleng Kolwane, congratulations. Julia, they want you to look at the big camera. There we go. I want to say to you, Julia, that I see your feet are extremely shiny, and I will say at Da Vinci we say that our students are remarkable. I better get you to look because I can see the camera guys are getting cross with me. I'll talk when we're done. We say at Da Vinci that our students are shining stars and they're part of our Da Vinci galaxy. And today I want to say to you, congratulations for placing your star in the galaxy of remarkability. Congratulations. And Chiao also joins us online. So I want to say to Chiao Veronica Leketo, congratulations on reaching this milestone, and thank you for joining us online even though you were not able to be here physically. Congratulations. Zanele, let's fix your tassels. I want to introduce you to Zanele Beauty Figlin. Congratulations. Few people understand what it takes to be an adult learner. All of you sitting here do understand. The balance that you have to draw is really important, but it is the grit and determination that got you here today. You have to have a certain tenacity to dig deep enough to receive a qualification as adult learners. Congratulations. The students that I'm going to be calling up now completed electives in customs brokerage. The first student to join us is joining us online because he was unable to be here today, and that is Dion Basson. Congratulations. The second student who's also joining us online today is Joyce Zandile Mahlangu. Congratulations. Joyce received her qualification cum laude. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Katleho Motlaung. Congratulations. Katleho, to you and the Motlaung family, I say congratulations today. You have no doubt made your family proud. I see them filming and taking photos as they should, because to stand here today and have achieved what you have is indeed an achievement. I hope you stand with pride for this, and congratulations. You can take as many fun photos as you want. Feel free. Sit in peace. We want your tassels to be perfect. Perfect. And you certainly look dapper. What a magnificent suit. Yo. I say to the man of the moment, Sitembiso Nkosi, congratulations. Sitembiso, I say to you today that we have the purple cow as a sign of remarkability at the Da Vinci Institute because it is about something inside of each of you that we want to remark on. Today, I remark on the fact that you got to this point because that in itself is remarkable. Congratulations. To the Nkosi family, we congratulate you on Sitembiso's achievement. The next two graduates will be graduating online. That is Takalani Pashwana. Congratulations. And Dinesh Raj Kumar, congratulations. We once again thank SAPA for all that you do for the students and investing in them. Thank you very much. An important part of learning is what we call micro-learning or learning for non-qualification purposes. This is something that is extremely critical in order for us to be able to better our own skills on a continual basis. And it is indeed our honor today that we have got students here that completed modules within the banker program and have achieved this milestone and are here today to be congratulated at the graduation ceremony. Larisha? Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Larisha Jagannath. Congratulations. Larisha, we are very proud of the achievements that you have achieved today. No, you're not allowed to rush off. Because the one thing about learning is that it should be a building block, and it is something that is about continually enhancing yourself. I congratulate you for taking this challenge on with such aplomb. Congratulations. Sitimbile. Many of us get those masks stuck in our earrings. Please be careful. It is not a pleasant thing, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Sitimbile Promise Matibela. Congratulations. Sitimbilo, the thing about lifelong learning, I know you feel shy, but you'll have to stand and smile. The thing about lifelong learning is that we have to continually grow and challenge ourselves. You've taken this task on and you've done it magnificently by being here today. We congratulate you for the new knowledge found. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dumi Virginia Ndlovu. Congratulations. Dumi, as a working professional, you have taken the steps to ensure that as an agile, aligned managerial leader, you are able to lead those teams that you form part of and to be a leader in the space by providing yourself with the tools to make you more agile, more aligned, and more engaged. And we congratulate you for this. I know it's really awkward having to take photos while I speak. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Dimekhatso Maria Sajake. Congratulations. Dimekhatso, stand and wave and smile there. Not at me. I want to say well done to you. There are moments that are extremely dark on any journey where we don't feel that we can get there. And whilst we are supported and celebrated today, I have no doubt there were moments where you didn't think you would get through, but you dug deep. And your tenacity that it took to get there and the willpower is something that besides your knowledge, you should treasure forever because that is a characteristic deep within you. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Mamo Khalakane Martha Sitole. Congratulations. I know you were worried about me pronouncing your name, so you said I should call you Martha, but I say there's much in a name. And the Sitole family should be extremely proud of you for taking on lifelong learning so seriously and understanding that we grow and learn as knowledge workers when we enrich ourselves. You're an example to your community and to your family, and we congratulate you today. Congratulations. So I would like to thank you. You may be seated to the procession. the students, what we do is those students that have completed modules for non-qualification purposes, we do mention their names, even though they have joined us online, some of them. So we do mention their names as a sign of congratulations to each of them for the journey that they've undertaken. So we say congratulations. If you could hold your applause till the end, because the list is quite long. So if I could please ask you to give them a large round of applause at the end. Munib Abduram Fadila Abrahams, Chantal Samantha Adams, Fazlin Adikari, Nadine Umbral, Dalik Esmeralda Aronsa, Lindalwa Awu, Tasneem Rosina Aziz, Pumeza Banisi, Desiree Sophia Barron, Shante Irene Blair, Nazli Brains, Tulile Kabe, Celeste Una Christians, Chantal Diane Yolanda de Villiers, Dawn Elizabeth Delport, Mita Devi Deonarian, Kutolo Machelani Di Gomo, Inamandla Nondumiso Dladla, Andile Nombuso Dlomo, Sandra Duplessis, Offense Mark Dube, Senaklachla Fezile Dunge, Gillian Rogine Farmer, Leandri Edwina Fransman Fullard, Natasha Gaiba, Deshri Gurahu, Anastasia Patricia Gibbons, Presha Gobind, Daluxolo Nicholas Goboda, Sugan Govender, Jessica Govind-Sami, Nicola Natalie Greaves, Bongiwe Promise Gwala, Charles Guaruba, Rousseau Hart, Anisha Isaacs, Irene Janse van Rensman, Lucanio Jaxa, Moleni Christian Julius, Sophie Mapefo Carlson, Dashni Karikan, Obakeng Melvin Kuhomo, Sabelo Innocent Kuzwayo, Laurentia Tsinenikov Klein, Renal Kun, Bongi Nkosi Wellington, Kunene, Paulina Lachodi, Madimecha Jacob Lesaba, Hlezipi Charlotte Letebele, Ntabiseng Linda Lina Letuala, Fortune Botumelo Letsau, Damian Lawrence Liebenberg, Akona Loyiswe, Mbalenhle Zanele Zinhle Mabaso, and then it's Kensani Daniel Mabunda, Sinetemba Zimile Glenro Mabaso, Yolanda Fatiswa Mafikile, Sipa Tokaza Makapela, Mantwala Sarah Malapa, Toko Anna Millicent Manganye, Jeffrey Manyaka, Poppy Rose Manyaka, Pokwane Charity Manyeke, Tiana Stephanie McQueen, Angus Mark Murray, Imelda Charlene Marchant, Taboho Prudence Mashiani, Ramona Mature, Melita Mojaji Matebani, Leanne Mati, Tinswala Matumbu, Wendy Sinovuyo Mazichana, Zuzo Kwaye, Meshion Mbele, Denise Helen McCabe, Masungulo Samantha Mhlanga, Sindiswe Pearl Mkize, Innocent Nipo Mgwakebe, Lebohang Mkwena, Pesike Ruth Mulukai, Hermanus Francois Mostert, Felicia Botumelo Motena, Noloyolo Constantia Matule, Abduram Aziz Fad Naidu, Aaron Naidu, Offense Nakeng, Nomakosi Sani Ndlovu, Sindiswe Beryl Ndumo, Daniela Nadia Niels, Priscilla Astorita Nietling, Mulalo Abigail Nechikangani, Mtobisi Talent Ngiba, Asamakhle Anita Njonji, Tironsho Alina Nonyanye, Antoinette Nokia Mtseveni Nyatela, and then Innocent Pana, Surika Paulsa, Navasan Perumal, Jaikumari Pillai, Manshebo Amelia Ramasai, Angelo Samantha Rhodes, Chikani Rilamfu, Kevin Simon, Yusuf Sayed, Veronica Laverne Skoltz, Zanunesa Saboa, Iris Maria Sima, Brenda Mosima Selo, Lazarus Mohlaba Seloa, Ntombi Futi Rose Shabalala, Mawanda Sibaliboyi, Tandi Simakade, Clement Terence Simmons, Chauvin Singh, Mariska Marty Smith, Piowakule Solani, Kelly Solomon, Liema Sonkwala, Asezi Spani, Melissa Sundar Prasad, Zinzi Funeka Sunduza, Susan van Grienen, Candace Varachia, and Mbongi Wiseman Zwane. Congratulations. I would now like to serenade all our graduates that are here today with the song by the Josie Opera, God Bless Africa. Agree, beautiful voices. So it is indeed my honor and privilege to be able to do the closing address at your graduation today. But I thought you'd heard enough of my voice, so I decided to start my presentation to you with a little short video that I'd like you to consider how life can be represented by a jelly bean. And I hope you will see the artistic creativity in this, but the underlying message as well, which I will then speak to you about afterwards. So please do enjoy the video, those of you that are online and here.
These are roughly 28,835 jelly beans. I counted out 500 of them and used those to weigh the rest. In this pile, there's one jelly bean for each day that the average will live. You might have more beans in your life, or maybe less, but on average, this is the time we have. Here's a single bean. It's your very first day. A special day, but kind of a rough day on everyone involved. Add 364 more and you have the first year of your life. Now, for a sense of scale, here are your first 15 years, 5,475 days, which brings us to the threshold of adulthood. And at that moment, this is the time that we have left. And this is, on average, what we will do with all that time. We will be asleep for a total of 8,477 days, If we're lucky, some of that time we'll be sleeping next to someone we love. We will be in the process of eating, drinking, or preparing food for 1,635 days. We'll be at work, hopefully doing something satisfying, for the equivalent of 3,202 of those days. 1,099 days will be spent commuting or traveling from one place to another, maybe a little bit more if you live in LA. On average, we will watch television in one form or another for a total of 2,676 days. Household activities, like chores and tending to our pets and shopping, will take another 1,576 days. And we will care for the needs and well-being of others, our friends and family, for 564 days. We'll spend 671 days bathing, grooming, and doing all other bathroom-related activities, and another 720 days will go to community activities like religious and civic duties, charities, and taking classes. After we remove all those beans, this is what remains. This is the time that we have left. Time for laughing, swimming, making art, going on hikes, text messages, reading, checking Facebook, playing softball, maybe even teaching yourself how to play the guitar. So what are you going to do with this time? How much of it do you think you've already used up? If you only had half of it, what would you do differently? What about half of that? How much time have you already spent worrying instead of doing something that you love? What if you just had one more day? What are you going to do today?
So what I want to say is that Maya Angelou once said that life is not about the number of breaths you take, but about the number of things that take your breath away. And I hope the message today is that you have sacrificed to get here, and we understand that. We understand that being a lifelong learner and wanting to enrich yourself certainly takes away something from your life as much as it adds. And what we hope is that in expanding your mind and being able to collect and connect the dots and widening your scope of thinking, that you also understand the importance of holism and balance. Systemic thinking says that the sum of the parts makes up the whole. You have multiple parts as an individual that make up you as a whole person. So do not spend all your time on one of these things. Be balanced and give time to everything that is important. The COVID-19 pandemic has taught many of us how short life is. We've all been affected in some way by it. But life in general is something short. And when you come to the end of your life, no one wants it to say, she was a good worker, or he was a good worker, he worked well. We all want to have something remarkable about ourselves. And the reason we represent remarkability by a purple cow at the Da Vinci Institute, and you see cows all over the place, is because we use it for two reasons. On the one hand, it is American author Seth Godin, who spoke about the fact that if you are all, which if you look at yourselves, you are all experienced, you've all got gifts and talents, so you are basically represented in his view as magnificent Six Sigma cows who have, studied, have enriched themselves, have done well, got the same years of experience. So he's saying, what would make you stand out? So he says if you were driving along and you saw all these magnificent, healthy cows, I don't know which road do you like to drive to where that you see lots of cows? Anyone? I know you go to the Free State, Marizon. What road is it? Do we know? The N1 to the Free State, there's definitely cows that way. Anyone else? The N17? Okay, so we are going on the N1 with Marizon and on the N17, and you see this magnificent herd of cows, and you say, wow, they are healthy, they are well. But if a purple cow were to step out of that herd, you would slam on brakes, take photos, document it, and shout out. And this is a metaphor for being remarkable, that remarkability is about what people would remark about you and what would make you stand out of the crowd. Today, you have shown up your remarkability by getting to this point when many that started this road with you are not sitting where you are today. So congratulations for being the purple cow. The second analogy of the purple cow is in African culture. So can any of you tell me what, if you've got a herd of cattle, what it represents? What is it a sign of that you are? Wealth, success. So we say to you that we wish for each and every one of you to have continued success, wealth and happiness and health for you and your families and those we love. But we ask you that with the responsibility of being educated, that you remember the principles of Ubuntu. I am because we are. And you never forget to try and influence the humane, sustainable societies that we want to create. So once you have generated the successes for yourself and those you love, please give back on a continual basis to the communities. And even whilst you're trying to get there, remember that sustainability is the only way that the world is going to continue to thrive. We have to have more entrepreneurs, more people creating jobs for themselves, more children going to school and having education that is holistic, like the education you've been privileged to receive. So today I say to you, do not forget to have those moments that take your breath away. They are the jelly beans that at the end of your days you will say, wow, I remember that incredible experience. Make a bucket list for yourself, have a vision, have a goal, co-create direction in your own life, co-create meaning by having a value add to your own life, and most importantly, celebrate yourself and those you love. The other thing about the jelly beans is that they are the colors of remarkability, and they're there to remind us, the colors of remarkability, of diversity. The fact that each and every one of you comes from a different background, a different family, a different belief system, and even if you come from the same background and belief system, your lived experience is very different to anybody else's. And that is because we all have something unique. We carry a name, a surname, which represents our families and represents those that are our generations past and to come. So today, as much as I graduate and congratulate each of you, I want to say to those families sitting in the audience and online, to the Naidu family, thank you for bringing a graduate forward. To the Govender family, thank you for a graduate. To the Hiscock family, thank you. To the Kolwane family and the Leketo family, thank you for enriching someone to get them to this point of graduation. To the Figlins, the Basons, and the Machlangus, thank you for all those times that you stood by those that are here today to allow them to get to this point. To the Motlaung family, the Nkosi family, and the Paswana family, I want to say thank you for giving back to your children so that they may give to theirs. Congratulations. To the Raj Kumar family, we congratulate you. To those students who are represented here as lifelong learners doing modules in your programs, you have done your family proud because you're a model example of being a working adult that continues to grow and learn. So to the Jagannath family, congratulations. To the Matabile family, the Ndlovu family, and the Sitole family, we thank you for raising somebody who has such an open mind that they see learning as an imperative to success, even though they're already a working adult. Congratulations to you and your families on this momentous occasion. It now brings me to the end of our proceedings today, and I would like to call upon Professor Singh to formally dissolve this congregation. Prof. Singh.
As a member of the Da Vinci Institute Senate, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the Da Vinci Institute for Technology Management.
Thank you, Prof. Singh. So for those of you that have joined us online, thank you very much. We are going to sing the national anthem, And then the online part of the ceremony will be finished once the academic procession leaves after the national anthem. To those of you here, we would like to invite you and your loved ones outside behind you to share some refreshments and snacks and celebrate. One of my team members in the front here, Lindor, will be outside, and he will take photos of you individually, with your family, with whoever you want to take photos with, your industry representatives, and your program convener will then email those to you. They're complimentary photos. Make them fun, make them serious, make them however you want. But the academic procession will stand behind you so that you can have that in your photo as well. And then obviously your professional photos are something different that will be delivered to you based on the formal proceedings for that. So these are more informal photos. I ask you to please all rise for the national anthem of the Republic of South Africa, where our institute is registered and our qualifications accredited. And although we have students globally joining us, and we also have alumni from around the world, we say that our qualifications, we pay tribute to the country in which they're registered and accredited, and for those students that are South African, to you as well.
Sisi